Welcome everyone. In this video, I have an amazing chess game to show which may enlighten you to even improve your game in a better way. Over here we have Arjun Erigasi as black and Nihal Sarin as white. Now with this game, trust me, you are going to improve your thinking qualities, your strategies and skills into a next level. So let's begin. Knight f3 by Nihal Sarin and Knight f6 by Arjun. B3, C5, Bishop B2, Knight C6, E3, G6. Now this was Knight C3 and then D6. So this opening was played by Nihal Sarin. The idea was simple. He wanted to open up queenside pieces with the kingside also in the future, which you may observe. He go with Bishop B5. Now over here, as I prefer, there is some better responses than Bishop B5. Not to complain, bishop b5 is also a good move. Over here, what could be tried is knight e5. The idea is simple. He cannot take it because bishop will take the rook. So secretly you will be attacking the center with the knight also. This is the main plan. Now if you try something like e5, you may simply eliminate. So ultimately you can easily just trade off the pieces and activate your pieces and continue your game. So over here, Nihal Sarin directly go with bishop b5. So comes bishop g7, then comes knight e4. The idea is simple. If we take bishop. So over here, e5 was the response. Now in this position, the best move is obviously knight take f6. But there comes a mistake. Knight g3. Now why is this a mistake? Okay, so there is something important for you to understand. He can go with e5, not right now. He can go with e4, not right now. Because if he go with this, then bishop take knight, right? He can simply eliminate this defender. Also, if you try e5, then there is another good move, and that is knight take e4. If you eliminate the bishop take bishop. So this is something important for you to analyze. So knight g3 seems to be a good move, but actually is not. Over here comes castling. Now instead of castling, there are some better responses which we can expect. For example, x5, x4 for attacking the knight. That's all. Castling, we go with castling, the king safety. a6 was the response. So Arjun attacks the bishop. Now Arjun is already doing well in this game. Over here comes bishop e2. So a simplest response, bishop e2 is a good response, but bishop takes c6 is even better because it will create double pawn structure. So it is already a disadvantage for black. But he go with bishop e2. So comes e4. Now this king is protecting the bishop. If you try this, there is nothing like winning the game. So that's the only reason he go with e4 now. Now what you do? So he go with knight e1. Ultimately he has no other better option. So what you observe? His pieces are at the back rank. Nihal Sarin is kind of losing the game. Arjun Erigasi is playing completely attacking with logical responses. Over here, e4 attacking the knight, so knight goes to e1. He go with x5 also. The idea is simple. x4 will make the knight go behind. Okay, so ultimately he creates some back ranks. Okay, he creates all the pieces towards the back rank. Now there is something more important. Now Nihal Sarin in this position, you might think that he must go with x4 and just block the pawn, right? Why he go with c4? So this is the second most important thing that I analyzed is it is blocking d5. Now if you go with h4, you will give your opponent an opportunity to go with d5. Means a center attack, right? So this was the only thing Nihal Sarin observed. He observed that knight could go easily there and he thought that it might be a trap which Arjun is setting up so that he could just focus on the king side and not on the center. Okay, so comes c4. Now comes x4, knight goes behind. Now you may observe all the pieces at the back rank. None of the pieces are developed except for these bishops, right? So this is the very important thing Arjun Erigasi is playing well. Now x3. The idea is simple. If you go with this, and that's what black want. Over here, what he'll do is he'll simply try to go with b5, b4, or even he can try to take the knight behind, go with some moves like this, try to attack the king side. Okay, he is already controlling this important square, which is the main advantage. And if you take it, then that's not going to help. Bishop take and attack the rook. The rook will become completely vulnerable. Knight will come to g2. He'll try his best to deteriorate your position. So over here, what Nihal Sarin did is completely he go with f3. Now he is disturbing this central pawn. He go with queen e7. He is trying to defend this. Nihal Sarin goes with knight g3. X take g2, knight take g2, e take f3 and bishop take. Over here comes knight e5. Now, what's the main idea of knight e5? So idea is simple. Knight e5 attacking this bishop. What we must do? Simply take the bishop behind. The idea is very simple. Our main bishop is under attack. We must protect it at all cost. Over here, there was a best move found by Nihal Sarin, knight f4. Now, how is this a best move? So, you will come to know about this later on in the video only. You may observe this. Otherwise, what I was thinking, what an average player would think. He would think for d4, the center attack. If you take, attack the knight. Okay, it does not matter if there is some moves like knight take it. Queen will take it, the position will become equal, right? Because Nihal Sarin was completely losing the game. That's why I just thought for an average response like d4. And that may actually work. Okay, what Nihal Sarin goes with is knight f4. Okay, so he just developed his pieces more further. Earlier his pieces were at back rank, but now he is bringing it further. That's a good point. So comes knight fg4. Now why is this a mistake? So let's go behind. Over here what you may observe, the very important thing, bishop attacking this diagonal, right? There are two best responses, knight take f3, otherwise go with rook b8, like remove this kind of attack and then further focus on b5, but he go with knight over here. What was his plan? Arjun's plan was that he will go with queen here and try to mate like this. Okay, this was the plan of Arjun Erigasi. Now Nihal Sarin, of course, a grandmaster, he is a very experienced player. He knows what he could do. He go with bishop d5. Idea is simple. He'll creating a pin. Okay, he may plan further for knight take pawn. He will plan. It is not the actual plan, but he may plan. He'll try queen c7, knight taking the pawn, taking advantage of it. Now once again, Arjun Erigasi play king x7. He removed that pin. He is not giving any chance to Nihal to take advantage. So comes queen e2. Queen e2 is very good response. The idea is simple. Queen will come here for revealing the mate. So he directly go with queen e2, blocking it. So comes knight f6. Now he just take the knight behind. Once again, this is kind of inaccuracy, I'll say. Now, why is it an inaccuracy? Over here, what you could do, there are some responses like queen x4, as I told. Okay, taking the knight back, once again, the point is simple. You take the active piece behind. What is the reason? Okay, so that's why queen g2. The idea was simple. Bishop may come forward for attacking it. That's why directly go with queen g2. So comes rook to b8. Now this was the move which he should have played much earlier. And this is the main problem of many of the players, 99% of players. They focus on a particular move, a correct move later on. Okay. For example, over here, instead of playing this move, rook b8 was correct. But now later on, when the move came, he played rook b8. Right? So this is the most common mistake that many players make. Okay, and this is all improved basically by experience. All right. So knight e4. Now knight e4, that is simple. Queen is supporting it with the bishop also. The queen is being open. So okay. So this is a very basic idea. So comes bishop f5. Now knight could come over here. This was my plan. But Nihal Sarin played an amazing move. Knight take f6. The idea was bishop take f6 and then knight h5. What is the idea? If we take rook take and attack this, that will be a mate. Okay. So once again, Arjun does not take it and go with knight f3, giving check. Now, what's the idea? The bishop attacking the bishop. This is the idea. Over here, now this is a very important question. Why don't we go with queen take or bishop take? Okay. So why we go with rook take? Why don't bishop take? The bishop will choose to eliminate it. Then this diagonal is not at all active. The rook will take it. Rook will be attacking the bishop. That's the main idea. Okay. Also, you may make a way for this. So this is a valid point. Bishop take b2, rook comes, doubling up of rooks attacking the bishop, especially this pawn. So queen x4. Now once again, he played a move later on, right? I hope you may remember what I was telling. Knight g2. Now this is the mistake. Actually, over here, I always thought about rook take f5, and even as per computer analysis, this was a best move, because if you take over here, you may try for rook take f5. You may even attack like this. Okay, for example, if we play b5, you go with this, he go with this, you give a check, bishop take, queen take. This was my basic plan that I was planning, but what he played was knight g3. So comes bishop x3 attacking the queen and the rook. Now comes rook take f7. Bishop g7 was a great move. Knight f5 was the brilliant move by Nihal Sarin. The idea was simple: bishop take queen, and that's what happened. So rook take g2, king h8, knight take queen. If the bishop take on the rook, f1, rook take g6, bishop x3, and after some moves, Arjun played king h7, and now this is a blunder. So over here, rook take d6 for some miss. Instead of rook take d6, he could go with rook g3. That is simple. If you go with bishop f5, knight g5 check, king g6, knight f7, king x6, and then take this pawn. The knight and bishop will be attacking it. Also, the bishop also under attack. So this will be an advantage, but he missed it. Rook take d6, and after few moves, Nihal Sarin in this position, he faced a problem in pushing the pawns. Now, how Arjun Erigasi is controlling it? He is continuing with some great moves, right? Over here, Nihal Sarin is having a basic plan. He just have to push the pawn forward and win the game. A3, rook c8. Now he go with knight e5, rook g8, b4, a take b4, and after some moves, once again, this was a end game where king e7 was once again a mistake. So d6 check, king e6, knight check, and then the game continued. Like you can observe, once again the players were making some mistakes and all. Now this was the moment where Arjun Erigasi made a massive blunder, and this lead Nihal Sarin are winning. So he sacrificed the pawn, promoting to a queen. Queen sacrificed knight check, and that's a game over. The king comes here, knight take, easily promote to a queen and win the game. And that's the reason Arjun Erigasi resigns the game. So this was the very nice and amazing game played between both the Grandmasters. And if you were able to understand this whole game, then that's good. You may improve your game like this. And if you enjoyed the video, then do like the video, and thanks for watching.